The Hudson's Bay in downtown Vancouver sits on the corner of Granville and Georgia Street and is one of the most iconic buildings in Vancouver's downtown core. It's also one of the oldest. The first Vancouver-based store originally sat on land leased from the CPR, that's the Canadian Pacific Railway, on Cordova Street in Gastown. It opened on January 17, 1887. But as the downtown core started to develop, the Hudson's Bay built another store in the bustling city center, opening their Granville Street branch in 1890. The building at the corner of Granville and Georgia, originally a 3-story brick building, was built in 1893 and officially opened on September 21st of that year. With the closing of the Cordova Street store, the Granville Street location expanded. But then in 1913, the HBC started construction on the corner of Georgia and Seymour right behind the Granville and Georgia location. That store opened on March 14, 1914. By 1925, the HBC was pulling down the original Granville and Georgia building, expanding the building into the store that we still know today. They added those iconic Corinthian columns and refaced the building in terracotta. The following year, they expanded further towards the North Granville Street side, and that's how the building stayed until 1949 when they added a 4th addition towards Seymour Street. With a history like that, it shouldn't be any surprise that the Bay has employees and patrons who have decided to linger. If you're familiar with the Fairmont Hotel Vancouver, which you should be because you've watched every video on this playlist, obviously, then you might know about the Lady in Red. Apparently, she's also been seen floating in the middle of an aisle on the 2nd floor of the Bay, as one cleaning lady experienced. She went to the security manager, Shannon, in tears requesting not to work on the 2nd floor anymore. Speaking of Shannon, he had some experiences of his own during his time at the Bay. As he was often called out for security alarms and did most of these calls himself, it's unsurprising that he would often have encounters. Like how the elevator doors would open up after hours for no reason. When he would review the footage, he would see that the elevators were being called to either the 2nd floor or the sub-basement. While these incidents usually involve the customer elevators, they would also sometimes happen with the staff elevators in the back. He checked with building engineers who said that the elevators could not open on their own. They had to be called, either by pressing a button inside or outside the elevators. If they were malfunctioning, it would happen more often. They were also not computerized, so no one could program them to open randomly. Speaking of the sub-basement, it was down in the recesses of the building that there was a staff kitchen and cafeteria that was once a soup counter and burger bar in its past life. An alarm would often go off in this area, and Shannon would have to attend to it. Most times, he would be alone if it was only one alarm. Every time he attended to the alarm, no one was there. He said that the vibe felt wrong in that area, muggy with an electric heaviness to the air. It probably didn't help that the kitchen staff kept an alarm on the counter that went off twice while Shannon walked by it. After one of the alarm clock incidents in the sub-basement, while walking down a hallway leading to the staff lockers and washrooms, one of the open doors slammed in his face. He immediately kicked the door back open, only to find that, once again, no one was there. He yelled, "Okay, I get it. I know you're here," and seemed to experience relative peace after that. He wasn't the only one in the loss prevention team who had experiences, though. Their office sat in the mezzanine between the 1st and 2nd floors of the building, and they would often hear the sound of wheels squeaking in the bathroom overhead. When someone would go upstairs to check, no one would be there. When they would check the security cameras outside the bathroom, again, no one would be there. Now, given the fact that the Bay is one of the oldest buildings in the city and has undergone multiple renovations, it really is not surprising that it has its own haunts. The building is currently undergoing massive renovations inside again, and there's definitely a vibe. I tried to take the elevators down to the Zellers level a few weeks ago and the escalators were still broken. Now, on the 1st floor, it said that you had to go down to the sub-basement for Zellers, so that's the button that I hit. It was not the right floor. We thought about taking the stairs up, and when we went around the corner, it was very eerie. We were greeted with parts of the building that looked like they were original. They were very spooky. There was not the best vibe. It was uncomfy. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this little slice of Haunted Vancouver. If you did like it and you want to support the cult, well, then you can save and share this video with your friends, because that's super helpful, honestly. And of course, there's stickers and a button and bookmarks if you're so inclined. Good day, and may the cult be with you.